All right, welcome back everybody to another episode session with in my interview slash podcast. I still don't know how to fucking start these fucking shits, but then again, I don't really care. Um, Today we have another person. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, my name is Zach. I want to make movies and comic books for a career.
Mm.
That's me in a nutshell.
And we'll be touching, or we'll be going into that more in a little bit. But I just want to give a disclaimer for I guess I didn't post anything this week or whatever the fuck. Or well, there was a week that I didn't post anything, and because the audio got all fucked up. But yeah, so we'll be trying out with the other person beforehand another time. But yes, what did you say your name was again? What did you want me to call you as?
Zach is
Zach.
just perfect.
Okay, Zach. Sorry, I really am horrible with names and remembering names when people want me to name them like that. But yes, this is Zach. Zach to me is a person that I met like the previous person that I interviewed on Google Plus, Katie. That was another person that I interviewed, and we met on Google Plus years and years and years ago, and we still been acquaintances or friends, however the label is, to this day.
I'd like to think we're buddies. I'd still like to consider you a very close friend of mine.
We're only friends, right? Just friends.
On occasion.
On occasion. It's an inside joke. Maybe you guys will figure it out. It's a little bit of breadcrumbs we go along, but yes, we've known each other for years. I guess we only know each other through screens and like that. We don't really know our day-to-day lives, I guess you can say, or however.
That has been like one of the only things we just kind of like don't bother talking about.
Yeah.
For me, that's just kind of like, it's not really a conscious decision on my part. It's just one of those things that kind of never comes up, and I never kind of feel inclined to share it.
Yeah, we just don't care. We don't care about hearing each other's stories.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, there are moments where we do say, I guess when something is bothering us, but then after that, it's like, all right, I guess that's it. That was a phase, and then we just go back to whatever we were doing beforehand. Or we just don't talk to each other for days on end. But yeah, that's pretty much our relationship at this point. I guess like everybody other average conversation goes. So first thing, like you mentioned, or like how Zach mentioned beforehand, that he wants to be a movie director and he wants to do comics. And I do know that you did go to school for art, right?
That is correct. The Art Institute of Portland. And for those who are interested in possibly Googling that place, I'm not sure you're gonna find it anymore, because the very year that I graduated, school closed its doors for good.
Really?
Yeah.
Did someone touch someone?
Failed financially.
Oh, okay.
I don't know like fully what it was. It wasn't even that big a surprise when it happened, because throughout my entire school life in that system, things were always declining. Like the school was sharing a building with several other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically like paying rent to this big old city block. And as each year went by, like more and more of the school was being bought out by other companies. It was losing classrooms.
It was losing space as well as like land, I guess. Yeah.
And so like one of the biggest losses was we had this one giant storage space type of deal. It was like big as a warehouse, and it was mostly used for when seniors would showcase their final projects.
Mm-hmm.
Like pre-graduation, it would be their final projects which could be anything from like a short film to their portfolio or a website they designed, any number of things to show their skills, right?
Right.
You would have potential buyers coming in and checking things out, looking at the newest talent. And then like 2 years into my start, it was closed for good. Like the space was closed off. It was bought by someone else. And so we had barely any room for the seniors to show their projects. And, several
like
years
sardines.
later, it just, the school closed, and that was it.
Man. Well,
Yeah.
I guess you can say you got lucky.
I did. I got so lucky. Every other student who wasn't able to graduate got seriously fucked. Not only were they paying for classes that like they weren't interested in but had to go through to pass, but like after they got kicked out, they had one of two decisions: either quit school for good or to transfer to another art institute somewhere else,
Jesus.
either in Seattle or California. And that was not happening.
Oh shit!
That was not happening for a college student.
That is that is a commitment.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Like most of the people I talked to, every single person, come to think of it, that I ever talked to who wasn't going to be able to graduate, they're like, "That's it, buddy. I'm just gonna move in with my parents, do my own thing, or I'm just gonna like stay in Portland, take survival jobs, and just try to jump from there." And I'm like, damn.
That is very depressing. Take survival jobs. I've never heard it being used in that way. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they were going through. Everybody else that was still going and continuing. Jesus.
I have this one buddy who's still living with her grandparents. The school wouldn't help her find any work in the field that they were training her for.
What was her field that she was going to school for?
She wanted to make films. She was going into like visual effects.
Oh, okay.
That type of thing. So like Adobe After Effects, editing, video editing.
Oh wow.
By the way, I don't mean to dissuade anybody listening from going into art school.
Oh, I do.
All I gotta say is like really do your research.
Or just don't go.
Don't take the first pitch that they throw at you as solid evidence of what's going to happen. They'll tell you anything just to get you on board,
Man.
Really do your research.
Or just don't go.
Before you go into a school. Or just, you know what? Forget college. College is a scam.
Yeah, it really is. It's a good thing I just joined the workforce afterwards.
Like, do Skillshare. Your parents are going to tell you that, like, you need a college degree. That is bullshit.
No, that is your reality. That is not mine anymore.
No, the whole scene has changed so dramatically since the 80s.
Yeah, I guess that taps into the whole American dream kind of gift box, I guess you can say. You have to go to college in order to have the full American dream experience.
Information and technology is traveling so much faster than it ever has in human history.
Oh, hell yeah.
So much so that you can attend class at your house right now.
Oh, yeah.
You still need to have the bread to pay for the class, but it's there.
And I guess when you were going into, like, when you decided to go into college, did you know right out the gate of high school or beforehand that you were going to go to college and what you were going to do for? Or how long did it take you to realize, like, okay, I'm going to college and I'm doing this?
Ever since I was in middle school, I knew what I wanted to do for a career. I picked up a lot of comic books when I was in middle school, and a lot of stories. 3 comics really, like, basically set the path for me. One of them was a comic book series from Dark Horse Comics called Usagi Yojimbo.
The Dark Horse sounds familiar, but everything else sounds too rice field for me.
It's Usagi Yojimbo. It's a comic series about a samurai who has like no purpose in life, so he just travels Japan, trying to basically find himself.
Oh,
And
that
it takes
sounds
him on
like
a lot of magical adventures through feudal Japan, and it's wonderful. It's a beautiful comic series.
Mm.
Kind of cartoony, but like really full of. It's full of depth. I loved it, and that's basically the comic series that like made me think, oh, okay, yeah, I really want to do what this guy's doing.
Where were the comics? Was that comic that you read? Because I know people that write comics, have them in black and white in the beginning, and then they transfer them over into color. Was that comic that you read it in black and white, or was it in color?
It was in black and white. I don't think it ever transitioned to going into color. It had like one special issue that was in full color, but other than that, the series has just been black and white.
Okay.
As far as I know. I need to catch up a little bit because it's still going on and I haven't been reading it much.
Really? It's still going on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As far as I know, I keep seeing new issues at the comic store that I visit.
But it's like not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So since you're saying that, I guess during middle school, that's when you started like, really practicing in developing art skills and all that other stuff that you need, basically the basics to be able to go into high school and then learn advanced or the college school basics.
So high school was, I was never really aware of
you were alone,
the authority that I had on myself in high school. I was just going with the flow in high school.
So I'm sorry, what did you say? The so what?
Sorry?
What did you say? The so what? Because you cut off for me.
Oh, so I was never aware of the authority that I had for myself in high school.
The authority.
I wasn't really aware until my second year that I could choose classes, that there were such things as electives. Okay. I don't know, like nobody made a huge effort to really like inform me about that. So it wasn't really until the second year when I realized that I could that I could take art classes, that I could take character design or something.
Well, I don't know if it's different or go ahead and finish. I need to stop interrupting people. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Basically, like the art school that I went to was putting me in a lot of classes that I wasn't interested in, that I had to take in order to pass. Like, I never wanted to touch 3D modeling, for example.
Really?
I never wanted to touch that. I just wanted to focus on two-dimensional hand-drawn stuff. I like that. That's what I want to do.
Do you still?
But the school had this weird curriculum that, and anyone who's gone to high school and onwards, like they know what I'm talking about. Like these are the essential classes you need in order to pass, and
right, like math, history, English, the fucking just the shit that the academics or the district or whoever the fuck want is pushing. So yeah, where you can
it's like
throw that hat.
Growing up, you realize, like, at least in our generation, we all kind of grew up with everybody telling us we need to learn certain things that we go on to never ever using. It's frustrating,
Oh yeah.
That's been like the one biggest frustrating hurdle.
Oh yeah, like I still believe that that they should teach one CPR and how to do at least some form of knowing how to do your taxes and shit like that. Like stuff that you actually need. Like I still believe that
how to find a house.
Oh yeah, how to put a mortgage, like how to apply for a house or pay for a loan or apply for anything, like important shit. Like, yeah, like the math I still believe should be there, but I think it should stop at after adding, subtraction, multiplication, and then division. Those are basically the four essentials that you need in order to really go on. And then this advanced calculus and algebra, geometry, it's like, okay, I don't really need that. Like, when the hell am I going to start doing that? It's not like I'm going to be fucking dedicating my whole life to going game shows and all that. But then again, I don't know. Like, I wasn't the best kid during high school.
Oh, I totally get what you're saying, though. It's like anything beyond like advanced algebra or calculus.
Mm-hmm.
I think is reserved for those who are going to go into accounting.
Yeah.
Or law degrees. That's just I don't know. Like that seems like something reserved for business.
Yeah, like something that would actually be in high school, like I guess the first middle school, elementary, middle school, and high school is just really focused on, giving you the life skills, and then if you want to keep going into learning, advanced more stuff and be a master at this kind of shit, then I guess that's what college would be. That's what I understood when I was in middle school. I thought like, oh, okay, I'll just learn the basics during this time, and then if I want to continue advancing it, then I'll go to college and I'll learn all this other complicated shit. But at least I know, it's engraved in my head that I at least know this. This would help me out. But it always changed.
Yeah.
So, other than, sorry, I'm like rambling. I need to remember that this is the interviewer's hour, not my hour. But
oh no, like this is a conversation as far as I know.
Yeah, but I still need to remember, like, no, this is not me. I'm just the person giving the interview. Like, it's your hour.
Right.
You're the one supposed to be talking. But
all right.
I guess going back to the comic books, what the comic book that I guess that inspired you to doing art and all that, when you went into college to like apply for the arts, how disappointed were your parents?
It's funny. My parents are the best people. They're my biggest fans, actually.
I can't speak for everybody, but
It's like ever since I was in middle school, when I told mom and dad like I want to do this, and I like whipped out like a huge stack of comics, and I like start going through them, and I tell them about the stories that I want to write.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were fully supportive of it. They were like, "Oh, holy shit!" Like that sounds awesome. And
well, that's because you actually have the talent. Like when you write something and then you send it to me over the social media. I'm not gonna say which one, because I still want to be alone on that. But when you send it to me over, the social media that we're on, your wording is incredible. Like how I said that one time, that did you just copy paste this from a script or did you actually write it? And then you were like, no, I wrote this. And I'm like, holy shit. Like you're fucking making love to the writing at that point. I'm like, I'll never get to that unless I actually work at it. But then my laziness is like, nah, dude, just don't.
Please, my boner can only get so much harder, dude.
But really, you're very amazing when it comes to that. Writing out a story and not over exaggerating the detail and just getting to the nitty gritty of it, and then just like, all right, that's enough of that. Now let's move on to the next thing, and then the next, and then the next. That's something that a lot of people have a problem with, especially me. Like I know I take way too long into like describing how to move a leg, and it's annoying.
That reminds me of this one writing technique that I actually learned from a YouTuber by the name of H Bomber Guy.
Mm-hmm.
H Bomber Guy. He doesn't have like a firm formula for his videos. He just kind of talks about whatever he wants to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he'll talk about a video game he likes. Sometimes he'll talk about a video game he doesn't like. Sometimes he'll talk about a racist asshole who makes videos about being racist. He'll make fun of him.
Uh-huh.
And but like he won't make fun of him and then like conclude with something like this guy should not exist. He'll make fun of him and then he'll conclude with, I'm so happy this guy exists, or else I wouldn't have something to talk about.
Oh yeah, like
He's got like a chipper attitude.
Yeah, it's always those controversial characters that really give life and to the story, you know, like like nobody wants to hear about this one guy that's doing so great, you know, everyone's tired of that shit. It's always that struggle build. I'm guessing.
So anyway, the writing technique that I learned from him is I forget which video it was. You'll just have to watch his entire channel, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it in the description.
It was
below.
it was one of his videos about I think Fallout New Vegas, possibly.
Uh-huh.
Where he was talking about the story, and he uses this technique for writing that he noticed Fallout New Vegas using. And it was that you write a story, right? You like write a whole paragraph describing something. And what you do is you take 3 or 4 sentences off that paragraph. Choose 3 and you take them off. This forces the writer to essentially reevaluate what in the paragraph is most important so that they don't make, a giant mess of words kind of distract from the pacing.
Right.
It's like a big deal to not bore your audience to him. So he says, like if you're writing a story and you have like 7 pages worth of information, take away 3 pages. Read through your stuff, decide for yourself what is most important, take away 3 pages, take away 4 paragraphs, whatever. Take something away. Take a big chunk of it. Like take a huge chunk of something away from it. And then rewrite it. Rewrite it in a way that makes sense. Rewrite it in a way that keeps the most important stuff. You can have some fluff in there, but like don't, saturate everything with fluff. And I thought that was interesting. So I've been trying to incorporate that into my writing.
But again, like I guess, everybody's writing technique is different. I don't want to, I'm guessing it's like, I guess this works for him, and I'm guessing it's working for you since you're barely starting it. I'm guessing, we're not promising it's gonna work for you. Everybody's is different. Find your whatever it might be.
Very true.
So moving from the comics, away from the comics a bit, and then going into the filming, and that you want to be a movie director, right? Or what is it exactly?
I know I want to write stories for the film.
You want to be a story writer?
Yeah, I want to write the stories. I'm discovering about myself that I'm really bad at like knowing how to pace a script, especially for like a feature-length film. I've written for like several short films, but I've not written for a feature-length thing, and it's really hard for me to. It's really hard for me to know like what the pacing is. So I'm thinking about collaborating with writers for like a big movie, for a big film. But yeah, I think I would like to direct. I never learned how, but I've directed one short film, which is still unfinished. It's been years, but we still have like several copies of the shots that we took.
Are you guys?
And I had fun.
Are you guys planning on finishing that, or is it something that may not happen?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
With I guess the feature film that you're working on, or that you were working on, is that something that may come out sometime? Like, are you guys still working on it, or is it something that it's like, no, this is not gonna happen?
To answer that, I need to explain the process, the basic process that I'm aware of in a project like a feature film. So it's a lot more complicated than this, but like the most simple way to break it down is there's 3 stages of making a feature film.
Mm-hmm.
There's pre-production, there's production, and then there's post-production.
Which stage?
Pre-production, like production, it's not actually production. It's like production is basically when you're shooting the film.
Uh-huh.
Pre-production is when you're like writing the script, designing the characters, coming up with a budget, like, and then post-production is like adding the special effects, editing it together and then releasing it.
Right.
For the feature-length film that I'm working on, with my colleagues,
mm-hmm.
they're so far away from production. So far away from even pre-production.
Uh-huh.
We're still writing the script.
Dude.
Don't have a budget, don't have a design for the characters. We just have an idea and a story. Like, we wrote the story down. We just don't have it in screenplay format.
Oh, so the story's that I understand they're saying the story's done then.
We have like several versions of the story, but it's basically done. Like the story is done.
Okay. So now you just have to pick which one you're sticking with then.
It's one of those things where have you ever seen Army of Darkness?
No. Is that an anime?
No, that's a movie.
No. Oh wait. Armies of Darkness. Is it with that guy with the chainsaw hand?
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
then yes, I have. Well, when I was little, but yes, I do know what you're talking about. I don't remember much, but yeah.
That movie has 2 endings.
Really?
one where the good guy, one of them is a happy ending where the good guy gets back to his home, his like actual time period.
Yeah, that's.
And he gets the girl, he fights evil, and
yeah, that's the
wins,
one I saw.
Yada yada. And then like the bad ending, and the ending that I actually prefer in Army of Darkness is one where Ashley gets stuck in a post-apocalyptic future. He said the wrong magic words.
You pronounced it wrong?
Pronounced it wrong, yeah.
Oh.
He mostly said them, kinda.
I don't think so. If he did, then there wouldn't be a second part.
Yeah, that's kind of like that. That's basically, that's how our film story is going. Is that we have several different endings, we have several different beginnings, but it's done. The story is basically done. It's just we don't have a script, don't have it. The character designed. We don't have a cast, although I personally have an ideal cast in mind.
Okay.
There's never a promise of that happening. And so basically where the film is it may never happen.
I would just...
I hope it will.
That's something that I want to just be in the background, not in, participating and just listening to the people that are casting people and watching the shit show unfold while all these other actors, and I'm like, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving my opinion. I'm not the one casting this. I'm just in the background enjoying the show. But yeah, and then I guess with the over niceness, like, oh yeah, you did great. But yeah, so I'm guessing it's a, like you said, it's a long ways away. But what's what's preventing you guys from taking the next step?
Money. That's kind of like the big thing. The other thing is we all have lives. Right. Things happen.
I mean, with the whole pandemic, I'm guessing that really has set you guys back.
Yeah, kind of.
And these people that you're working with, I'm guessing they're people that you went to college with, or is it people that are close by with you?
No, none of them that I'm working with I've gone to college with.
Oh, so they're over the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. That must be a little bit more complicated then. But yeah, I hope, that, someday you guys are able to at least get somewhat of money, just to put it together, and just for you guys to be able to say we made a movie, even if it's not the best received, hopefully it does when you guys, if it does happen, but at least you guys can say we made a movie,
Mhm. And like it wouldn't even be like one of those groundbreaking. I could see this movie getting like a cult following.
Really?
This film that we're
Really, your expectations for this film is that high, huh?
It's nothing that I expect to like. I want to have a theatrical release. That's one thing. That's one of the big goals in mind, is that I definitely want it to be in theaters.
Okay.
Everything happening, that's not typically a good idea. But yeah, who knows? I don't know.
I'm not trying to discourage you or bring you down, but like if you want to shoot for the stars, shoot for the stars, and all that. But it's like oh, okay. I mean, you never know. Maybe it will. Maybe there'll be a cult following. You never know, And if it does, then I'll eat my own words for that. But hopefully, hopefully it does. Like
it would be a fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
That's like another big goal. Like that's all I care about. Is like it's a good. I don't want to turn people's hearts. Like, oh, the story is flawless. It's just it's fun to watch. That's what I really.
At least you were entertained.
Yeah.
Not like Hellboy.
Oh yeah.
Do not. I swear to God, dude. I will be your biggest hater if you do that. I swear. Like, I'll dedicate my whole fucking life to burning you to the ground if you make a fucking film like that.
Oh god.
But yeah, I hope, like, if when you guys are able to, scrap or put something of what money together to get to your goal, to at least continue with this project with these people that you're associating yourself with, and we get to see your name on the big screen someday, and you can tell everybody, like, see, college paid off.
Somehow.
But yeah, all right, I guess this is the ending for the first part. The next part will continue with whatever comes in whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in the next part. Bye.